Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and actually today we're not going to be going into Minecraft, we're actually going to be doing the wild, we're going to be watching the video on the wild update. Now there's some things we're going to be talking about, and that is from X is a void.
It began as a call to adventure.
Okay.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. In this one we are covering Minecraft Live, which has just taken place today. This is the online streaming event where Mojang reveal their plans for the future of Minecraft itself. And this
What I'm hoping is it gets realistic, that's the good part.
which will be known as the Wild Update.
Probably going to be my favorite update.
The Minecraft mob vote where we got to vote in a new mob to the game. This was between
Yes.
the Glare, the LA, and the Copper Golem. And we'll find out at the end of this video which one of those won the mob vote. But first of all,
I already know the answer. Probably some of y'all already know this.
and let's get started with the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 update. It's going to be released within a month or two, so December the 16th at the very latest, meaning it'll be ready for the holiday season and Christmas. Now it'll be safe to update your
I believe it already is in. So, but if you don't know,
to expand worlds vertically with the bedrock at the bottom being removed and giving you access to all of those caves down at the new bottom of the world. Here's actually an example they shared with us of a world being transitioned from 1.17 into 1.18, and you can see how the game will generate new caves in that space below bedrock at the bottom of your world. Sadly though, this update isn't going to include the bundle item, and it's not going to have the deep dark biome with the warden and the sculk sensor. Turns out this stuff is much more ambitious than we realized, and Mojang is going to need more time to develop it, as it includes these deep dark cities underground. It's going to be a part of 1.19, and we're going to see more of this later in the video. There is some other good news for this update though. It comes with massive parity between Bedrock and Java Edition, with the worlds being practically identical between the two versions, which means making
look at the water, they're
sharing
different.
worlds and experiences even easier, as now those seeds you can use on one version will be the same on the other. And also in tune with this, it was also announced that Xbox Game Pass will include both versions together for PC players, so you'll get access to Java and to Edition. And for Java players who are migrating to a Microsoft account, you'll be given access to the Bedrock
I have Bedrock
version
and Java, but
players will
one's
get
on the
given
computer,
access to the
one's on
Java
here.
version of the game. So there's a sense
Bedrock
of
is on my tablet,
unification in terms
the
of
one that
access to both
we're making the video
versions of
on.
this game, which exist on the PC platform. And another short note before we get to the 1.19 stuff: if you're a Minecraft Dungeons player, there is good news. All of the DLC has been completed, and they're now introducing what are called seasonal adventures, where you can earn adventure points and complete weekly challenges. The first season is going to be known as the Cloudy Climb, and along with this they're introducing a new game mode called the Tower. It's going to be a single player game where you progress through a series of floors inside this tower. And so with all of that Minecraft news out of the way, this is it, the Wild update for 1.19. It's going to be released in 2022 with the Deep Dark included. But sadly, archaeology is not going to be a part of this update. That's been pushed back for a future version of Minecraft. So the focus of this update is on the Deep Dark cities, and also an overhaul of a couple of biomes. One of those is the Birch Forest, which we didn't see much of beyond this concept art that they showed. And the other one is the Swamp, which gets referred to as the Mangrove Swamp. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a replacement or an additional biome alongside the original Swamp. And if you remember a few years back, we actually saw this in the biome vote, the Mangrove Swamp, and it included chests with boats and frogs, which are both going to be added in this update. So here is our preview of the Mangrove Swamp. It is quite an impressive sight.
Wow.
These large trees, you'll probably notice that they have their own new leaf blocks, but down at the bottom where the roots are, those look similar to leaf blocks as well, as in they're transparent, but they've got like a brown texture. That'll be an interesting block to collect and use for other things, I imagine. You also probably notice inside this biome, there is a different coloured block down there at the bottom level. This is actually a mud block, and in this clip, it looks a lot better. It's created with dirt and then clicking on it with a water bottle. So water turns the dirt into mud. Now when it's on top
Makes
of
sense.
dripstone like you see here, the dripstone then drips the water out of it and turns it into clay, making both these resources renewable. So then we have the sapling for this tree, which is rather unique. As you saw there, it was planted underwater. It can be planted on regular blocks as well. I don't know if it will then grow into a tree, but certainly when it's in water, it grows into a tree like this one has done right here. What's unique about these saplings is that I don't think you get them from breaking the leaf blocks, but they actually grow on the leaf blocks themselves. So with a new tree comes a new wood type, that is the mangrove wood, and you are thinking what I am thinking, that looks way too much like jungle wood. Even the log has like the same rotation and a similar texture, although it is slightly nicer. And then we also have this new gorgeous texture right here. This is mud bricks. I'm guessing it's probably crafted out of mud the same way stone bricks are crafted out of stone. But we don't know much more about this block other than how it looks. And to be fair, it looks like a gorgeous building block I think a lot of players will like. Then we have fireflies.
Yes,
And I can
yes,
say
yes.
this, they look like they should be particle effects more than entities, because that would be a crazy amount of entities to add to your world. But whatever they are, they look cool. And look at this. Frogs. Frogs will eat the fireflies, and these frogs, they look amazing. And we've actually
Yes.
been treated to quite a
There's
bit of
I
information and footage of these frogs in action. I love the animations. I love the way that they jump. And one of the things that they like to do is jump to lily pads.
yes, that's the point of the lily pads. And they have the lily pads with no
That would be
frogs.
something they do really frequently, so maybe you could use it to manipulate their AI and have some fun with controlling them. But here you can see there's also going to be tadpoles. And these are, of course, going to grow up to become frogs. But here's where things get interesting, because it depends on what temperature of the environment they grow up in. And here you can see that tadpole just growed into a different variant of the
Yes,
frog
there's also different
based
types.
on what biome it is in, which is super cool. This also makes it
Desert
one of the
makes it
first
a
mobs
desert
where the baby
colored
version of it
frog.
isn't just a smaller sized version of that mob, it's a different thing. It's a tadpole, and based on where it grows, it will turn into a different type of frog. Here you can see the tropical one, which just looks so cool. I actually think these look really awesome. So now it's time for maybe the best part of this update, the deep dark cities, and I'm including the sound from the video that was streamed because the atmospheric music included in this was just wonderful. The sound design here is really cool. However, I don't know if this was just a track that was added for the video. Maybe it could be a jukebox record obtained from this area. But best of all, I think if you heard this when you were in this area, that would be stunning. Now, these deep dark cities are absolutely massive in scale, and basically they're like a ruined civilization deep in the bottom of the Minecraft world that's become overrun with this new set of sculk blocks. And of course, it's also home to the Warden as well. All of these things are adding up to make an amazing update, and I can see why Mojang have pushed this back, because they've clearly put more and more ideas into this, and it's starting to look like something really, really special. Now, the devs also explained that we have this block called the Skulk Catalyst, and what this actually does is it spread the other Skulk blocks you see on the ground when a mob dies, and the amount that it spreads is based on the amount of XP that the mobs drop. Fascinating mechanics. It also tells a big story. The more Skulk that you see, the more mobs must have died there, which is kind of crazy. Now, using the hoe, which is the tool of choice, you can break some of these blocks to get XP, and you can also use Silk Touch to pick any of them up and then use them for other uses and decorative things elsewhere in the world. There's also this other block called the Skulk Shrieker. I'm going to show you a bit of the audio for that in a moment. It creates a darkness effect, and then it makes a crazy sound as well. So this is the clip with that Skulk Shrieker, and yeah, there it is, making some cool particle effects. And it's about to make this noise. It's just did the darkness effect, so I'm going to be quiet now. Listen to this, it's terrifying. So on that theme of amazing sound design, we're now going to experience an encounter with the Warden. And I'm not going to say a lot here, because the sound design is amazing. So opening that chest activated the Skulk Shrieker. And there's the darkness effect. And wait for it, you're going to see a tiny clip of the Warden here coming out of the ground. Let's pay close attention. Oh, there it is. You see like a frame or two of it. So the Warden is going to come up from underground and then seek out the player. Notice the player is in full netherite gear here, because it's going to take just 2 hits to kill them. Oh, this looks so terrifying. Okay, we can't complain about this being delayed for too long, because it's just looking stunning. I feel like I can hear a heartbeat as well going on here. I think the snowball there was trying to create a vibration somewhere else to distract it, but trying to get away from this thing just isn't working for this player. They do have some golden apples, but I don't think they try to use them. And here we go. Oh, it's all over. So I went ahead and isolated those few frames where you see the Warden coming out from underground. It looks terrifying. You don't get to see the full animation though. I feel like Mojang are deliberately teasing us there, but it definitely looks terrifying. So swiftly moving on, we have the boat with a chest, and we got Alex and
Yes,
Steve
I think
here
this should have
throwing
been added a
down
long
both
time ago.
chests. This obviously can be used to move items around. Now the burning question you're probably wondering is if they interact with redstone, and the confirmation is yes, that these will actually interact with hoppers, probably both putting items in and taking them out as well, making these very useful. So I hope you didn't
You can have
forget
like the
about the mob
hopper in the
though.
water,
The
and
mob
then
that
you just
won
ride
was
it
the LA,
back up,
and I
and
also
then
found
it
a
would just
thread
leave
on
the
Reddit
chest.
from one of the developers of Mojang clarifying some information about this mob. The player gives it an item, then it will seek similar items in the area and bring them back. It keeps the item originally given to it by the player until the player takes it away. The drop-off point for collected items may be the player or a note block. There will be a way to assign note blocks to an allay, and the allay does not break blocks, open containers, steal from other players, or generate items out of thin air. The allay will be able to pick up non-stackable items, therefore allowing new types of automated sorting systems for item types that cannot be properly sorted yet. So all of that sounds good to me, and I think the best mob actually won out in the